we got some really hot weather and some real growth as a result. This is Racer Plus, and it's made a lot of progress in the last few days. Here's a Racer Plus that isn't doing so good. Here's another Racer Plus that's doing very, very well. And then there's this one. It's huge. Here we have Cargo, which, as I've said in the past, I'm not thrilled with. It seems to do well for everybody but me. We'll see. More Cargo, more Cargo. And these are the Maximas. These are Big Moon. And one of the three is doing much better than the other two. So hopefully we'll have at least one huge pumpkin at the end of the season. Over here we have some red onions. And they're doing pretty well. They do take a long time to bulb out. Right now they're not bulbing out at all. And that over there is a wild cherry tomato, came up by itself. My lovely composter. And over here, corn beds. The reason I got corn growing in beds is that underneath these beds there's really nothing but lawn that's being snuffed out. My method of building a garden is to lay down cardboard boxes and put soil over those, and then wait for the grass to die and everything, and then the next year you till it all under if you can. And this is all in the first year stage, so the corn is growing in these fabric beds, and it is starting to come up. I have some netting over it because birds, they've been trying to get through the netting. They just love little corn sprouts, so I don't want to feed the birds all my corn sprouts. And over here, this big deep bed, we have got all these tomatoes I grew indoors from seed. I'm thinking these are Purple Calabash, and these are Paul Robeson, but I don't know because I didn't mark them. So they are doing very, very well right now, knock on wood. Maybe flowering soon. And there we have some compact basil. Here's my little pepper plants. And I think those are tame jalapenos, and over there I think are the orchid peppers. And here are my tri-colored carrots. Some more pepper plants that I'm going to give away. And just about all my radishes are gone. Got some lettuce come up from last year. Might eat that. And here are the purple potatoes, and here are the red potatoes over here. And last but not least, we have Sweet 100, which is starting to fill out that cage it's in. It's going to take it a long time to do that. And Marconi, which is going to flower this week. Okay, let's take a little mad dash over here. Okay, we have some coleus, and that's the peony that I transplanted. It had been by the house last year, and I assumed it died because I just didn't see it at all after a certain point. And this year it came back, so I transplanted it into the peony bed. It's doing quite well. And here's one of the baby peonies I bought this year. Half of it's doing very well and the other half is dying, but I'm not going to pull it out because it might come back. And that's one thing I learned about peonies. Another peony that I bought this year, baby. And here's one I bought last year. Is I guess they're rhizomes or something. It was dried out, and I put it in the soil, and it didn't do anything, and it came back this spring. So maybe it'll bloom next year. And over here we have asparagus. And it's since I've been regularly watering it, it's doing better. I had been neglecting that, so I'm trying to be a little more careful. Got some weeds in there too. Got nasturtium growing here. And there's another wild tomato plant that came up on its own. And that's all for the backyard, I think. Oh, one more thing. You know what though, I'm going to turn this off for a second, because otherwise I'll make you dizzy. So I'll be right back. Here's the salad garden. Doing quite well. Just have to get some dressing and start eating now. And over here we have those seed pod cucumbers. And with the heat, they are doing very, very well. I'm hoping that they'll be leafed out pretty soon. And over here, this is camelot. Camelot looks like it's getting buds on it. So hopefully in a few weeks we'll see what camelot looks like, because I'm not really sure. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, we've got a little bit of cat grass coming up here. And those are the marigolds from last year that are starting to come up. And those will get huge, so they can have that whole corner to themselves. And Canterbury bells that I grew from seed. They probably won't flower till next year, so I'm not worried about how small they are. And here is Music Box. Music Box is going to flower in a few weeks. So that's a nice start. And let's see. I think some of... well, maybe not. I think some of my 4 o'clocks are coming back, but maybe not. Okay, I'll be right back. And this is my favorite rose. This is Earth Angel. Earth Angel's getting ready to bloom. Let's see if I can actually... there we go. Nice bud there. And what else we got here? Grand Champion Red Rose, which is budding, I believe. I don't know if I've got the camera on the bud. So that should be blooming again soon. This is Bellaroma. Bellaroma seems like it might be budding, but that does look like I've got an aphid on there, so it's gonna get sprayed later on. Here is Quietness. Quietness was the second one to open. Very pretty rose. And here's the Champion. This is Heirloom. No, not Heirloom. Heritage. I don't have Heirloom anymore. Heritage went nuts. You can see the roses start out dark pink and then they fade to white. It's the oldest one right there. Smells like fabric softener. Not a real great scent, but not really strong either. But it's a good looking rose. I love the cabbage rose. I love them. And our little mess here. This is Fairy. Here we go. And it's budding quite a bit, so we'll see those little tiny flowers. Very is very, very small. And then over here, my last rose, we've got Dr. Robert Corn. And that is budding as well. Dr. Robert Corn is a shade rose. It is one of the very, very few that can grow in mostly shade or complete shade. It's not a real pretty rose. It's just a little white flower, but it does add some variety to a dark spot. Over here, we've got an oak leaf hydrangea. It's making a nice comeback from being eaten by a rabbit. And we haven't visited Harry in a while. There's Harry. Harry's getting nice and big and growing up over his barrier now. Maybe by, well, a year or two we can take that barrier off. It's just that the rabbits love to eat the leaves right off the trees, so that's not healthy. And over here, our last thing we're going to visit today, that is my cranberries. They're making a go at it. They're trying. I just want them to root, and then I'll take the stick off of them. So that's pretty much all we have for today. And little blueberry there. I'll see you next time. Oops. This is my PS. I keep forgetting. Last year I grew red warty thing pumpkins, and the only other thing I grew with them was cargo, and of course cargo just didn't do anything. But red warty thing went crazy, and it went so crazy that I ended up with pumpkins all over the garden throughout the winter because there were just some I couldn't do anything with. So you can see the pumpkin shell here, and actually the seeds came up, and a few of them came up in the pumpkin shell. So they are a good distance in from the other pumpkins, and those are the short vines over there, so I'm going to let them grow and see if we can get some red warty things. Okay, now this is it, and I'll see you next time.